Welcome back. Democrats are dismissing a House Homeland Security Subcommittee's hearing on the unprecedented surge in illegal Chinese immigration, claiming that the hearing is, quote, fear-mongering and invasion rhetoric. Despite real national security concerns, Customs and Border Protection officials say 1,200 illegal Chinese nationals were encountered at the southern border in the first 8 days of May. 1,200. That averages about 150 a day. Joining me right now is Tennessee Congressman and House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mark Green. Mr. Chairman, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thanks so much for being here this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Well, we've talked about these Chinese nationals a lot, and I want to get your take on what's going on, because ever since we first really discussed the fact that the Chinese people are coming from all the way, east, all the way coming through the southern border, which doesn't make a lot of sense, but they're here and they're getting encountered. What is going on, and assess the situation today?
Yeah, thanks, Maria. The real concern is this incredible spike here in the past 18 months, really. Last year, we had about 20,000 Chinese nationals come in. This year, so far in 6 months, we've had 24,000. That's more than the 13 years prior to President Biden being in office. So it's a massive increase. And we have these reports from the Wall Street Journal of over 100 intrusions to our military installations with Chinese nationals posing as tourists, taking pictures, things like that. I mean, this is very concerning, and the fact that the Democrats don't seem to care. I mean, really, their talking points are coming right out of the CCP.
So do you believe that these tens of thousands of people coming from China are being directed, and is that their job to go and do surveillance at America's military installations?
No, I'm not suggesting that they're directed. I'm suggesting that it is very concerning, and we need to look at it. They're not vetting these guys. They decreased the vetting from 40 questions to 5 questions to try to speed people into the country. They're overwhelmed because they created a migration crisis, and now we have an enemy, China, who clearly is doing everything they can to upset the current world order and take over as the hegemon of the world. They are sending, we've got these tens of thousands of people coming. It's something we should consider as a national security risk, and the Democrats don't seem interested.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, you can't just pick up and leave China and move to America, right? I mean, you've got to have approval. Authorities have to okay something like that. So again, are they being directed? Is this a coordinated situation where Xi Jinping is creating a little mini army in America?
Yeah, we don't have any evidence of that, but what we do have is evidence that there are certain numbers of them, and in fact, the majority of them are single males, but not all of them. There are many families, and we have known. I mean, I've got a source that's told me several of them are connected. I mean, over 1,000 connected to the CCP with prior participation in the People's Liberation Army. So, and they're just being released into our country. This is unacceptable, and we need to dig into it.
What do you think is going on? Because I hear you saying two things. On the one hand, you're saying I have no evidence of that. On the other hand, you're saying, well, I have sources that tell me that they're connected to the CCP. So which is it?
Yeah. So we have, we know that some of these individuals are former members of the PLA. Do we have evidence or proof that Xi Jinping sent a note saying go to America? No. So it's degrees of information and concern. It's not an evidence of some kind of a plot, but you have to be suspicious based on who these individuals turn out to be.
Joe Pinion, jump in here.
Yeah, Congressman, I mean, I think to that point, right, obviously nothing occurs in a vacuum. We know for a fact that we had the Chinese spy balloons flying all across this nation while Senator Schumer and Joe Biden basically pretended that we were getting more from them than they were getting from us. We now know that we had those Chinese police stations all across the country run by the CCP. So you put all that in context. Is there political will within Congress and even some Democrats that might come to the table and say, if we've seen spikes in immigration that exceed the previous 13 years, then perhaps we should actually have increased vetting for what's happening here in the interest of pushing back against a Chinese Communist Party that is clearly trying to infiltrate the homeland?
I don't think the Democrats want to do any increased vetting at all. They want more people in the country, as many as can get here, and they'll withstand drug cartels bringing fentanyl in and killing Americans, and they'll withstand tens of thousands of Chinese nationals coming in to get their agenda, and that is massive immigration. So, no, I don't think there's any will on the part of the Democrats, and that's why this subterfuge about us digging into this issue. So, no, I mean, Republicans want to do it. Democrats don't.
Why not?
Well, they have an agenda for an open border, and everything that they can do is to get people into the country.
Yeah.
There are all sorts of, conspiracy theories about why that. And some of those are probably true, but no, they have no interest in securing the border at all.
Unbelievable. Mr. Chairman, there's this new report I want to ask you about from the Free Press. It finds several nonprofits running migrant shelters in border states, Texas, Arizona, California. They're getting rich off of huge government grants. 3 of the most prominent non-governmental organizations have seen combined revenue go from $597 million in 2019 to $2 billion in 2022. The Free Press reporting this: some of the services that the NGOs provide are eyebrow-raising. For example, Endeavors uses taxpayer money to offer migrant children pet therapy or horticulture therapy or music therapy. In 2021 alone, Endeavors paid a music therapist $533,000. So, Chairman Green, I mean, what are we paying for in terms of this illegal immigration? Now we're paying for music lessons, music therapy?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. That's why in H.R. 2, the bill that we passed in the House, we stripped all that money out of the budget. And of course, Chuck Schumer has no interest in passing it on the Senate side. But the NGOs, this is a big, big problem. $400 a night for a hotel room. I mean, that's insane. And some of these contracts, the Endeavor one particularly, it was a non-competitive bid. I mean, and it went to individuals who had previously worked at Homeland. So we're digging into this. We've done transcribed interviews. Part of our oversight is ongoing still, so I don't want to get into that too much. But this is very concerning, and we're digging into it. And I think that's where that report came from. Is
there anything more you can do as the chairman of the Homeland Security Committee? I mean, you've said a couple of times Democrats have no interest in doing this. I mean, you don't have a willing partner on the other side. Is there anything else you can do, or should we just wait until there's actually a change in Congress?
Well, we try to change. We try to impeach the man who's put all this into place. And the Senate, first time in the history of the country, refused to actually hear the arguments for the impeachment. This is a sitting cabinet secretary that was impeached, first time in the history of the country, and they wouldn't let us even present the arguments for why he was impeached. So, no, I don't see the Democrats interested in this at all. And we'll keep doing oversight. We'll keep digging into it. We'll keep passing bills. But the Senate's got to actually step up to the plate.